Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I have another video for you guys in my Halloween Horror Nights series. If you want to check out what this is all about, then click the link above my head now. And today I'm going to be giving you my review of Poltergeist. Now if you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always in my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. Poltergeist is full of creepy moment. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Not as much as I thought I was going to. I've heard big things about this film and I do feel like it was lacking in some points, and I'll get onto those in a little bit. But yeah, I still enjoyed this movie, and what I really like about this film and just had to just sit there and appreciate is how the visual effects in this film still hold up today. They were great. They were so good. There are a few that are a little bit maybe cheesy now, especially when the hand comes out of the TV. It did look a bit Tom and Jerry-esque, but for the most part, the visual effects in this movie, as I say, considering this was made in 1982, they still hold up today. And I think this leads in nicely to my next point, but what I really liked about this movie is when it started to use practical effects. That's when it started to get really creepy. I mean, that clown is absolutely terrifying. Even before it turned evil, like, I was just like, nah, I am done with that clown. I know that some spooky stuff is going to be happening with it, and I was right. But they could have like just kept the prosthetics of the clown the same and not had the creepy face, and it was still absolutely terrifying. I loved the whole kind of final act in this movie where stuff just starts to go absolutely bat-poo crazy. The whole scene with the swimming pool when we start to get all of the cadavers and the dead bodies popping out of nowhere. Again, it was just so haunting and terrifying. And one of my favourite shots in this movie is when the mum is just about to go over to the other side and they're both just looking through the light. And I just love the way that that was shot because it just looks so great. It was just so captivating, mesmerizing, but terrifying at the same time. It just looked great. And as I said, the whole kind of final act of this movie is where this film really starts to show its greatness and really starts to build in tension and also in genuine horror as well. I just want to mention that I think the little girl in this movie just adds something completely different and another element to this film. I know we've seen little kids in films, I think every horror film today has a creepy little kid in it, but I think Poltergeist absolutely nails it perfectly. I just love the way that they use the little girl throughout this movie, from obviously the famous line of "they're here" to having her just like interjecting her voice echoing throughout the house. It really added just a level of unnervingness and uncertainty as well, because it was really creepy the way it just moved around the house. I really loved that. And I really did, like, the more I'm talking about Poltergeist now, the more I realised how much I did love this movie. Just for me, the negative come because it felt like it took a long time to get going. And I don't know whether this is me being spoiled with horror films, where a lot of horror films nowadays are straight away, like everything is instant, we get the story straight away. But it did feel with Poltergeist that like it wasn't inherently a horror until that final act for me. Yes, you do have these horror moments, but it felt like it was also trying to build more of like a drama, and it was trying to tell too much of a story, which was a little bit of a shame, because it did feel like the story started to drag in points and we were just adding like extra layers for no real reason, because they didn't really have a payoff at the end of the film. But I suppose that's just kind of my opinion on it. Like, I still really like this film. I loved it. As I say, the film's final act, the last like half an hour, 40 minutes are incredible, and you can see why it's held in such high regard. It was just kind of everything before that, like, at points would feel a little disjointed, especially with the story, because I don't think it really knew like the trajectory it was heading on. We started adding in additional characters for no real reason. But, you know, that being said, I still really enjoyed Poltergeist. It just took just that little bit too long to start adding those real moments of genuine horror in. And not to say, I just think like they could have done more before then to start building that horror. It didn't feel like there was enough horror throughout the film. It was never really alluded to. It was like they were more trying to tell a drama than a horror, if that makes any sort of sense to you guys. I know I'm kind of waffling on this point, but I want to try and get it across in the best way possible, because, you know, I know a horror doesn't have to be a horror to work, but it didn't feel like it was trying to do that, if that makes sense. But I'm going to wrap it up here because I am starting to waffle just a little bit. But as I say, I really enjoyed Poltergeist, and if you guys have seen the original 1982 Poltergeist, then let me know what you thought about it, as always, down in those comments below. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews and awesome bonus features like these Halloween Horror Nights video series, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!